We all want comfortable tops, shirts, sweaters, whatever we are knitting or crocheting, and good shaping is the key here. Proper size choice, comfortable neckline, good armholes, all that, and bust darts. However, those bust darts explained in knitting books look a little bit too complicated. But I will explain this element in simple words and in simple techniques. Here's an example of a shirt that has a bust dart. You cannot see by the eye, but if we line up the front part and the back part, we will see that this shirt has this extra fabric at the bust line. And this is what bust dart is. A piece of extra fabric, exactly where it needs to be. If you just straighten it, you don't see it. And now compare these two shorts. The white one is a store-bought short without bust darts, and the green one has that extra fabric that creates a better comfortable feeling and no tension. And before we start knitting, let me thank the recent supporters of this channel on BMC platform. Thank you guys for your contribution to popularizing combination continental knitting style that definitely deserves recognition. Thank you. And back to the main topic. Now, how do we create that extra fabric? I have my stitch markers that tell me where to turn. You see, I will start from here and I will not finish this row. I will go until here and then from here until this marker, from this marker to this marker, from this marker to this marker. I will make those turns and then smooth it out. How do I know how many rows do I have to make? Well, my shirt that I'm copying rides up to 3 centimeters. My 3 centimeters is 6 rows. So I will have 3 markers here, 3 markers here. And since every short row is basically 2 rows because you go back and forth, 3 pair of stitch markers, 3 short rows, which basically is 6 rows because you go back and forth. I just start knitting normally and I knit until here. And I'm gonna use a contrast thread so that you see where does the bust dart happen when the stitch markers go off. So this is my first stitch marker. I will just move it. I will just transfer it to my right knitting needles and I'm adding the contrast thread so that you can follow the idea. Every time I see a marker on the right side, I will just transfer them because my goal is my last stitch marker and I will see you right here. I'm about to reach the last stitch marker and I'm not using these stitches. I'm just turning my work and I can get rid of the last stitch marker. So I make a turn and I'm using a short row technique that I've explained already on my channel. I'm not gonna dive too deep into that. You can use German short rows or any technique that you like. The idea is to make a turn and make sure you get rid of the holes. I've explained that earlier on my channel, so let's move on without diving too deep into that technique. And I'm on the wrong side. I'm purling and I'm transferring every single stitch marker that I see because I don't need them yet. I'm just ignoring them because my goal is this stitch marker. I will see you by the red stitch marker. A few stitches are left and it's time to get rid of the red stitch marker. I've just reached it, right? I'm getting rid of it, turning my work, making this a yarn over because this is how I how I will get rid of the holes, and then my goal is this stitch marker. So I made a turn, make this yarn over, and I move on to the last marker that I have. Just a few stitches are left. I have reached the point where I have my next stitch marker. I get rid of it and then turn my work, yarn over, and go ahead and finish the purl row until where, and of course I'm not finishing this row, until this stitch marker. Let's finish these few stitches, get rid of the orange marker, turn the work, yarn over, and you already know what happens. You knit until here. Don't forget the yarn over and go ahead and knit until the blue stitch marker, transferring the remaining yellow one right here. Get rid of this stitch marker and turn your work. Don't forget the yarn over. And what do? You just have one stitch marker left. Go ahead and purl until you reach that yellow one. Okay, here's this yellow stitch marker. Get rid of it and see what happens on the right side. And if we count what we have here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra rows in the middle of our work, while here and here we don't have any extra rows. And basically this is the idea of a horizontal buzz dart. Now what happens next? I will just continue the row on the purl side and see I have this hole, and this was a yarn over. It doesn't participate in the stitch count. I've already explained that technique, and I just need to hide that hole created by a yarn over. I make this little crossing from a yarn over from that fake stitch that I created and an actual stitch, and I purl these guys together. Now I continue. And again I have this hole, and again I make this crossing right here, and I purl these guys together just like this, and I finish this row. And since I've already finished this row, I get rid of this contrast thread because it's not my buzz dart anymore. I'm just continuing in simple normal rows from the beginning to the very end, except for I will have one row that smooths out the remaining holes. Remember, first holes we fixed on the purl side, and now we're fixing the holes on the knit side. So let me find the hole. Right here I have this hole, and again the idea is to hide this fake stitch created by a yarn over behind an actual stitch. So I'm gonna transfer these two and knit those together, making sure I didn't twist the stitch. And then I continue until I have just one hole left. I'm hiding it. This fake stitch created by a yarn over, I hide it behind an actual stitch, and I knit these two together. And I continue, and I see another hole right here, and this was my fake stitch, and I'm hiding it behind my actual stitch by knitting these together on the first from the front loop. And I continue the row. That's it. And here, now I took my needle out so you can see better. You see, that's that extra fabric that you will not see by the eye when your shirt is done, but you know exactly that it's there. I hope that it makes sense.